good morning, or afternoon, or whatever time it is. Um, yeah, so today we're going to start making videos about the RoadMaster again, it looks like. We've been waiting for parts, and yeah, I tore the car apart. Got no engine, no transmission. Transmission cross member is being worked on. Um, so today we're going to start actually working on kind of removing some of this rust. I am gonna get rid of all of this rust, or try to, as much as I possibly can. Um, some of this is just gonna be what it is. I've got to get um, this grease out of here first. That'll be the first thing we do. We haven't really been making very many videos on this, um, just because this is a slow process. The engine is actually at one person's house getting some work done. We just got the headers back. I was working on the transmission, kind of getting the dirt off of it because it was covered in mud. And then now, we're going to start actually working on this to do, some fix. Like there's a little rust right there I'd like to get taken care of in the firewall, and I think we can get it out of there. Um, I think we're going to have to replace that body mount. If you can see, it's all messed up. Um, hopefully, this isn't going to be too big of a job, but we'll see what happens. I got some time. The engine isn't going to be back for a little while, apparently. I've been working on this for a little while now. It seems like that just nothing has been going right, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna first start with removing these old motor mounts, because I got new ones, and these are just all weather cracked, and I just want to make sure that we don't have any problems. So yeah, that's where I'm going to start today. Hopefully I can get up in there and get those removed. Um, if not, we'll be working around them today until we can get them out of there. I might need to get the car jacked up to get them out of there. I just realized I didn't bring a jack with me today. So um, yeah, I'm not going to bore you. We're going to kind of do this in a couple of different ways. I got some stuff. I got a couple of 3M wheels. I'll show you here what I'm working on, or working with. So I've been working with these on the inner fender wells. They work pretty good. This is a double. They make singles as well. They also have them in this variety, which is a little finer. You know, this actually rips off the rust and paint pretty well. But I did find out that, fairly quickly, if you're going to be using something like that, you need something like this, because you're going to breathe in a bunch of stuff, and then you ain't going to feel so well. So I got one of these, a little bit different than the one that I use for the welding, or have for the welding, that, because apparently a pansy, I have to have a mask whenever I weld, or I get sick from that too now. But yeah, and obviously a face shield. But so yeah, we're using some of those. Also, we got, these are a brand by Norton, but they are just a style of Scotch pad like this, big sheet, so that you can try and make big wipes, across. And it does work. I was working with it here over here a little bit, but I got to get the grease off of there before I can do anything. So that's going to be a thing. Obviously, brake clean just in case. And then we're using, you know, for inner smaller places, we just got some, regular wire brushes for the drill. That's what these attachments are for, the drill as well, so It's kind of cool. That works really well. They're fairly expensive, so you got to kind of use them wisely. Rough areas and like on edges will just chip them and break them up. So you got to kind of be smart about how you're going to use them. Uh, and then the whole thing is going to get covered with this, which is, I guess it's the poor man's way of doing it. I don't know. I've seen other people use the DC stuff or Duplicolor. I'm not a fan of it. It doesn't seem to work the way they say it does. Everything I've ever put the Duplicolor on and tried to follow the instructions on always ends up rusty within a year or so. And this I've actually used on multiple different things. This Rust-Oleum Rust Eliminator, and it doesn't come back. It actually covers it fairly well. And then actually, I was working with this on the inner fender welds, and I've been working on the passenger side one because the driver's side one, I've started on it a little bit, but it's pretty bad. So we're going to have to do a lot of modification to it. Um, and hopefully we'll get it to come around. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But you're actually able to sand this a little bit. So I was using one of these little, one of those little Scotch-Brite pads, which is because it's supposed to be like 300 or 400 grit paper. Um, and so you spray this on, you let it dry overnight, and then when I came back in the morning, I'm able to wipe it over the top, and then it gives it this nice flat surface, and it gets rid of all the rough edges and the overspray in it. And then the paint lays flat, and I'm hoping that at least that one will turn out fairly well, even though it's not perfect. There's a little hole I'm not gonna fix because I just I don't know. It seems to me they've put some kind of um, what do you call it, bed liner or undercoating inside that fender well or both fender wells, and it just eats up anything I throw at it. I mean, I can get it to come off there, but I don't know how I'm going to get it off there. So I may end up changing out those fender wells if we keep the car. Because when I did take it off there, you could see that there's rust underneath whatever they threw up there. So it's just eating it away, which is probably why that driver's side looks as bad as it does, because it was just bonded in the middle and it's just eating. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start trying to get those motor mounts out. They're kind of a complicated little thing. They're up inside the thing and in the, the spring well and all this kind of stuff. And hopefully we're not going to have to tear all that back apart, because you know how much fun that is to deal with those springs. It was kind of a harrowing situation when we did it the first time, and I was laying on the ground trying to put it up in there while my wife's running a jack, and I don't want to do it again. So we're going to try and do it without doing that, but there's no promises. So um, yeah, I'm just gonna get to it. If we get it, we get it. I'll let you see whenever if I get it, I'll show you. I guess I don't know. We'll see. Otherwise, we're just gonna work around it maybe for today if I can't get them out of there or can't figure out how to get them out of there without taking the whole thing apart. So, or getting it on a lift or having it jacked up or a number of different things. Either way, there's going to be getting some work done on the RoadMaster, and I don't know that we'll get to the exterior of the vehicle on the front end, or like I do have plans to try and fix some of that rust in the back end, or at least cut it out and maybe put something over the top of it before we go to 666. But that might be a little ways down the road. I'm trying to get all of this other mechanical stuff done and get it back running so that I can get it back to my house and work on it there more on a consistent basis. Yeah. Oh, the other thing, we're still working on that Camaro. I need to do video about that Camaro yet. My son's Camaro, or release it, I guess. Yeah, but that's still sitting in my driveway with no exhaust on it, and we're trying to do some welding. But anybody who lives in Minnesota knows that it hasn't stopped raining for like 40 days or whatever it's been, 2 months, 60 days divided by 42, something weird. Anyway, yeah, we can't, there's a lake over here and it's not supposed to be there. See it? So, yeah, we got that whole thing going on. So, it makes it real convenient to be working on this thing right now this year. But, you know, the greenery and things like that is really why people love Minnesota. Um, if it didn't drive my lungs and stuff nuts, we'd be staying in the state. But as it looks now, we're probably going to be moving, hopefully within the next year, to someplace warmer and drier and someplace that I can handle it a little bit better. This year has been horrible for my allergies and my lungs because I've always had respiratory problems, and this did not help. So it is beautiful. There's no doubt. All this greenery is just absolutely beautiful. Even the fields, but I can't stay here. So, way beyond the point. But yeah, so we're going to actually try and get some work done today. And yeah, that's it. So let's go. Well, it didn't take long, and it's raining. And, I didn't bring any lights. None at all. So I put the wife to work because she can see better than me. And we're going to see what happens, but we're working on it. Just, yeah, some degreaser and some brushes, and we'll see if we can clean this old girl up. I didn't get in there into those things, like I said, because I couldn't get in there without jacking it up. So, we will just have to do it next time. But, yeah. Wonderful Minnesota. Oh, that was a lightning flash. Did you see that? Kind of through the light. Or it did want to, yes, it's a little flashy flash. Anyway, so this is apparently the end of day one. We have to apparently go somewhere with some family and stuff and do something. Anyway, so we're gonna kind of clean up here. This is how far we got. I mean, it's looking better. Here's the deal: like, it looks bad still, but it's cleaner than it was, and like that was what we based, like tried to work on today because, well, it rained outside, and the second that we're getting ready to go now, it starts to clear up and then sunshine comes out, So that's the way it works now. So this is a good start. We'll see what we can get next time. It was kind of nice. It was raining, so we were using the bucket of water here. We just put it on that corner and it was just raining right into it. And then dump water off because we'd scrape it with the wire brushes and then just dump it off and pour it on water. And, there's rust going onto the ground, but I don't know that it's completely toxic. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I would figure that just rust going on the ground would be better than a bunch of chemicals. But anyway, we'll see you next time, and maybe we'll have this all ready to be painted by that point. I got a lot of work to do, so we got to get to it. But today we're done, so have a good one.
Got a lot of wins on my dinner plate. Ain't coming down, gotta levitate. I know my next win is the best one, so I tell them that I'm on to the next one. On to the next one. On to the next one.